Hi everyone, my name is Perchelle Clairvoix, and I wanted to do my video on childhood obesity. Sorry. Um, so childhood obesity is something that, as far as the course, definitely the discussion that we did regarding childhood obesity was really impactful for me because it brought a lot of things to light, especially about my own childhood and about um, the patterns of the families that I was raised around, and of course, thinking towards my family in the future. I definitely want to have a healthy household. I want my children to be healthy, and just so that they can experience life more. So I wrote down a couple of notes, and I'll explain why um, the topic of childhood obesity was so impactful on me during the course. So first of all, childhood obesity does happen for various reasons. Um, it could be genetics. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. Um, a lot of people just are obese because of their family members. It's in their genes, so they can't even control it in that sense. Some lack physical activity, they, and we'll get to that later on when I talk about technology and how it affects that. And others, just eat unhealthy food and food that's not beneficial and nutritious for their children. So, with that, I feel like poverty has a lot to do with that because not everybody can afford the healthy food. I mean, in the ideal world, it would be best if the food that was healthy was more affordable than the food that is not so healthy. So a lot of parents resort to buying food that is just affordable for them because that's all they can afford. Okay, so those are the reasons why children can become obese. And so technology has definitely been a leading factor as to why obesity is on the rise. More people are sitting on their phones and on iPads and TV instead of going out and being active. Even our accessibility to Ubers and different things like that to get around, we're not as active. And so our kids are not as active, and that definitely um, just affects how our bodies work, because if we're not being active and we're eating unhealthy food, we're more likely to gain weight. So due to the fact that children are the amount of obese children has tripled in the last 30 years, and we're seeing our kids with things like type 2 diabetes and asthma, where our kids are experiencing things like sleep apnea, where they experience shortness in breath while they're sleeping. And all these things are preventable, um, and they are a result of childhood obesity. So the solution, what can we do? So when I know parents kind of freak out when they realize, like, oh my god, my child is obese and I don't know what to do. Number one, make sure that you check out like your child's body composition, because just because they may fall on the obese side of the spectrum, definitely check in with their doctor and see how their body functions, because their body composition will give you more detail than just putting them on that obesity scale. So definitely be sensitive with your children. Like, I'm speaking to myself as well. Like, in the future, I want to be sensitive with my children and make sure that I'm addressing hard topics in a way that is uplifting and in a way that will help them. Also, be supportive. If they want to do a sport or play a sport, help them in that, so that they can get out and be more active. And one of the major things is to not restrict the diet, but to just replace it with things that are healthier and taste just as good. Because kids will not eat things that taste bad. Like, I have younger cousins and things like that, and I'm also getting them on the healthier wave, and they will not eat things that taste bad. So it is important to just have healthy alternatives instead of just cutting out from their diet as well, and focusing on the family, just getting out together as a family, and you know doing those things should help with childhood obesity. Thank you.